University of Oregon's virtual Just for Juniors program. My name is Cora Bennett. I'm the Director of Student Orientation Programs here at the University of Oregon, and it's such a pleasure to welcome you here today. We're here today virtually because of COVID-19, and it has changed our way of life for the last few months. It's important, though, that we acknowledge other events that have impacted our lives. The recent killing of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery, and nationwide protests and rallies demanding the nation address systematic racism and oppressive policies. We believe that as individuals and as a university, we have the opportunity to be important voices for positive change. We are continuing to work to make our own campus a more equitable and diverse university. We are serving the public through inclusive higher education and can influence our city and state through research and advocacy for change. Because Black Lives Matter, we will continue to reflect and assess on whether we are a place where equity is real and see that we take action when it is not, and that all students, faculty, and staff live and learn in a just, safe, and healthy community that promotes student success for all. I'm so glad that we're part of the early stages of your college search and hope that you'll find a university where you will feel welcome, safe, and supported, and where you're excited to thrive. We have prospective students here today from Kahului, Eugene, Albuquerque, El Paso, Chicago, New Haven, Miami, and so many places in between. We're here to share information about the UO and discuss the steps that you can take to become a Duck in fall of 2021 and beyond. We have students and staff answering questions in the live Q&A, and some of your questions may be answered live on camera by our presenters during parts of the program. So keep your questions coming. It's important to note that respect is a critical value of our community, and we practice it here every day. Please be sure that you keep your questions and comments respectful in the Q&A. Our first guest today moved with his family to Eugene in 2017 and became the UO football program's co-offensive coordinator and offensive line coach. In the winter of 2018, he became the Ducks head football coach, where in just his second season at the helm, he coached the team to a Pac-12 championship and a 2020 Rose Bowl win. I'm excited to introduce you to the UO's head football coach, Mario Cristobal.
Out of words, I've never seen a group of men take over a place and launch it to a new level. You are the Pac-12 champion! You have elevated the standard, and you're not done yet.
Welcome to the Rose Bowl. This is Oregon football.
Hi, Coach Cristobal. Thank you for being here.
Cora, how are you? Thank you for having me. Certainly an honor to be here today.
I am doing great. Thank you. So I have a few questions for you because I think that your perspective on the University of Oregon and what makes it special is really fun to hear about. So we got a little taste in that video of you as coach. What inspires you to be coach of the Ducks?
Well, first off, I was listening to the intro. I heard there was somebody here from Miami, Florida. I am from Miami, Florida, born and raised. So I got to be honest with you. When I always heard of the University of Oregon, like the O is a big deal in my world, the athletic world. And when I had the opportunity to come out here and I actually set foot on campus, it blew me away from a facility and resource standpoint. And that was great. But when I had a chance to meet the people and see how truly committed the administration, athletic and the general administration was to the student athlete, the regular students, the community experience, the community togetherness. I never experienced that before, and it caught me. I called my wife right away and I said, "This is home now. Let's go. It's time." So it's been a complete privilege and honor to be here ever since then.
That's awesome. I think many of our students, when they come for visits and tours, they feel much the same, and that this feels like home. I've watched you and several of your players over the last few weeks do some pretty remarkable things. I'm thinking of the food drive that Cyrus Habibi Likio led with teammates and coaches to benefit Food for Lane County. I imagine that must make you feel pretty good as a person who leads young men. But it seems like it might be ingrained in the team. Is that some of what it means to be a Duck to you?
Without a doubt, to be a Duck, you must have a certain DNA. You've either you have it in you, or you are willing to develop into being someone who has a purpose-driven life. And we're very grateful for what we have. We certainly want to do everything we can to have a positive impact on others. And the generosity, the outreach of our players, the platform that they have is really an incredible opportunity. And these are guys that are made of the right stuff. They're very humble, they're very hungry, they're driven, and they know that they will have a positive impact while they're, creating history and winning championships and getting a tremendous, education. So we are blessed to have them. And quite honestly, I couldn't imagine being around a better group of young men in my life.
To shift gears just a little bit, you're the first Cuban American head football coach of a Division I football program. Can you tell me what that means to you as a professional and a member of the U of O community?
Well, I'm probably the only head coach that could do an interview in just full Spanish, just without ever, second guessing what I say.
I can't.
Como no? Yeah, but I'm very fortunate to have an incredible mother, father, may he rest in peace, that just the values and principles of our household directly carry over to the values and principles of our organization. And the heritage is very strong. I'm certainly glad to be a representative, not only of my heritage, but also of my family. But honestly, even more so, just being an extension of the University of Oregon. If you come to our house, you couldn't find a piece of wardrobe that doesn't have an O on it. And I just think of the combination, the parallels of my heritage and the culture here are just so in line that it's unbelievable. It really is. And you have to just see it, feel it in person to really know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier that you're originally from Miami, which is quite a bit different from Eugene. And many of the students, as I mentioned earlier, are watching from places that are also really different from all kinds of ways, like, the weather and the culture and so on. And I think that it might be interesting for them to hear what the best parts for you have been in moving to a place that's so different from other places you've lived.
Well, I'm an outdoor person, and being here and living here, it's like weekend after weekend, just checking into a different postcard. I mean, that's how incredible the natural beauty is. And from the waterfalls to some of the hikes that we go on, as well as a very active and alive city with so many things to do. And, a pretty quick ride over to the great city of Portland as well. And then another short ride down to the coast. So for me, it's like the perfect fit, the perfect scenario. I have all the things that I've always wanted in a place to reside, plus, in my opinion, and several others, the best athletics department in America that combines the best academic opportunity in America. So it is, that's why our guys really love it here. They love the fact that you get to go away to college and you're in an unbelievable setting with incredible resources, but you're also, with the way the world is nowadays, the world is a lot smaller. There are still opportunities to fly in and out or drive in and out from those respective places. And we actually have the most diverse locker room and the most diverse staff in America. Actually, Rawlins, our athletic director, received an award for that last year. So what you see here is really what the world, really what you want the world to be more like. People coming from all over, all parts. They look different, they might speak differently, but they're all here with common goals and purposes as high achievers, and really willing to learn from each other to accomplish great things.
I imagine that is fulfilling to the players that you coach and the people that you're around as they are, learning from each other and looking to move on to the next level, whether that be the next level of, medical school or the NFL or whatever that is.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I had a chance to watch your happy hour with the Ducks a few weeks ago, and I was struck actually by a number of the things that you said. And in fact, that's why we asked you to be here today. Particularly, you talked about Oregon, Eugene, the U of O, Autzen Stadium, and what you love about the place and the community. Can you share more with our audience and their families, like What's special about the University of Oregon from your perspective?
Yeah, the pageantry here is unmatched. You don't. It's hard to find a place that supports its university, that has so much energy and enthusiasm and togetherness as you will find here. And I've lived in a couple different places. The coaching industry, it kind of forces that upon you. There have been moves, and we've experienced some really good places. No knock on any other place, but just the level of commitment here, the level of community sense here. It's important, right? I have a family. I have two young ones. They're human tornadoes, those two little guys. But at the same time, I want them around the best quality, just purpose-driven human beings. And from the moment they set foot here, from the community, the neighbors, the university community, the student athletes, the students on campus, as we just got around more and more and got to know more people, they welcomed us. They brought us in, and this was even before I was a head football coach here. So I thought it was very genuine, which is always at the forefront, right, of any relationship. Being genuine, being able to have honesty and transparent conversations and situations to build trust. And that's the type of equity that we were always interested in, to be able to fully invest ourselves in a community and just become a very strong fixture there to do what we can to give back. And right now we're just fully committed to doing everything we can during these challenging times in every way to support our student athletes and our community, because we can, we're motivated, we want to, and we certainly have an unbelievable supporting cast and surroundings to be able to do so.
That's amazing. I want to thank you again for being with us here today. I know that your insight means so much to prospective students and the folks who are thinking about being Ducks and making that big move to Eugene. And also, while I have you here, because I'm shameless, I just, as a Duck myself and a season ticket holder, I just want to just say thank you for what you've done for our community and the Ducks. It's a lot of fun and been a real pleasure to go to the games and be really excited and watch you and the players as they represent the University of Oregon. So thank you so much for that and for your time today.
Well, I thank you for saying that. And I would like to just say one thing is, if you are considering the University of Oregon, you have got to set foot on campus and spend at least a couple days here, because if you do so, it's going to be a game changer for you. It's going to be a complete difference maker for you. And it was for me. And again, I was born on the other side of the country. Okay. I had never seen anything like it. When you come here, your questions will be answered. That feeling will hit you. I promise you. And it's going to hit you hard. So be prepared. It might be a one-way ticket. Okay.
Thank you so much, Coach Cristobal, for being here today.
My pleasure. Go Ducks.
As you're finishing your junior year and looking at colleges and universities that you'll apply to, we know it's critical for you to know more about the UO's admission criteria and the process to get admitted to the University of Oregon. I'm happy to welcome Jim Rawlins, Assistant Vice President of Student Services Enrollment Management, and he's also the Director of Admissions here at the U of O. He's going to share the ins and outs of the admission for 2021. Listen carefully and be sure to ask your admissions questions in the Q&A. And Jim's going to stick around for a few more questions and then move into the Q&A after he's done. So welcome, Jim.
Thank you so much, Cora. And good afternoon, everyone. We're so glad you've joined the program today. With my time, I want to give you an idea of what to expect in the application process itself next year. But first, let me say how much we're rooting for you right now. You're having a junior year like no one else in history, and we want your senior year to be great, enjoyable, and as much as possible, predictable. When you start your application for U of O, first and foremost, take your time. Our application for fall 2021 will become available at the beginning of August, and you shouldn't feel rushed to turn it in. It's definitely better to take your time and get it right. If you choose the common application, make sure to go ahead and list the University of Oregon as a school you're considering as one of your first steps. So when you do apply, what will we look at? First, we'll look at your grades and the courses you took to earn them. We enjoy seeing students exceed our minimums, and even though we love to see IB classes or AP or Cambridge courses, we also know that these are not available to all students. Do what challenges you in the best way, and in light of what your school can offer, we will know how to put it all in context. By the way, we will have you self-report your high school record. So anytime after this spring term is done, get a printout of your transcript from your school and then use it to enter your courses one by one into the application. We won't need an official copy of your high school transcript sent to us until the very end of your senior year. So that's one less thing for you to worry about right now. Now, about your grades and the pandemic. We know that many high schools have switched to a pass-fail system for this spring, and we also know this might be true for the fall as well. Whatever your school is doing, don't worry about how we will view unusual things like this. If you think fall grades are going to be given at your school and will give us a better picture of you than how you've done so far, it's okay to wait until you have first-term grades to share. Second, you might have heard we have become a test-optional school starting this year, meaning most applicants will not need to provide SAT or ACT scores to be considered for admissions. However, if you have scores, I would still recommend that you send them, especially if it helps you qualify for one of our many automatic merit scholarships that are based on a combination of minimum grades and scores. That can give you a scholarship answer much more predictably and quickly. The other most important part of every UO application is your written materials. Your personal statement or essay often gives us insights on who you are and who you want to become. Additional optional essays, such as one about diversity, give us better ideas of what you might bring to the campus community or hope to get out of it. Keep in mind that your application will be used for additional special opportunities depending on your interests. One key example is the nationally regarded Clark Honors College, for which you'll need to write an extra essay in response to a prompt provided by our faculty. Plus, programs like architecture, product design, and music will require you to do a separate application in addition to ours. One of my favorite tips to give an applicant is that you treat the activities section as one last extra writing opportunity, even if it's small. When you tell us about a job you held, a leadership position at your school, or something else that helps us see who you are, make sure to tell us a bit about the details and why you found the activity meaningful. A lot of students don't devote time to this, and it helps us get to know you more than you might think. Another insider tip, no matter which major or program you select on your application, your chances of admission will not be impacted. We know that students who are broadly well prepared can be successful at anything they put their minds to, so that's what my admissions team will be looking for when they review your file. Now, let's talk deadlines. Oregon has two deadline options, early action and regular decision. Whatever you might hear that other colleges out there do regarding early action, it's important for you to know that at Oregon, you have the exact same chances of admission regardless of which one you choose. Last year, a little under half of our 28,000 applications arrived by the EA deadline. No matter how early or late in the year you're offered admission, we will give you until at least May 1st to reach your decision. I know that next year, more than ever, you will appreciate the chance to actually visit campus, especially after that great plug by Coach Cristobal. I hope you're getting excited about the chance to take this next step toward being an Oregon Duck by applying for next fall. If you're looking for one more way to feel like you know what's coming and what to expect, I'll give you one last pointer. Check out the Oregon Guarantee. This is a new way of setting tuition. Starting with this fall's freshman class, your tuition rate will be fixed for 5 years. Most universities will increase your tuition each year, meaning each year gets more and more expensive and the overall cost goes up significantly by the time you graduate. However, here at Oregon, we're guaranteeing that the tuition rate we charge you as a student in fall 2021 will be the same rate you pay in the following years too. What a relief. And I'm saying that as the dad of a current student too, by the way. So I want to have a few minutes for questions from you now, but one last thing. After today's program, I hope you'll stay in touch with my admissions counseling staff for anything we can help you with in the coming months. If you aren't sure who that is, there will be a link in the email following this event where you can find your counselor and learn more about this terrific team that will soon be reading your application. Good luck with your plans, everyone.
Thank you, Jim. We have time for a couple of questions that have come in from students. So are you ready to take some questions?
I would love it.
Awesome. So one that came in are, what are the benefits of applying early action?
Well, it's a great option, but I really want to go back to something I just said and really help every student hear loud and clear. You don't need to apply early. The main benefit is simply that if you're on a quick timeline where you know what you want to do, you're ready to turn things in, it simply means we will probably get back to you sooner. But never make it into something that you feel you have to do faster to have a different chance of admission, because we work very hard to make sure that's not a concern.
Well, and I'm sure in a senior year that's chock full of things that maybe knowing a few answers earlier rather than later can provide some relief to seniors in high school, right?
If they're ready, but absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so another question. What if I do not meet the UO's admission requirements?
Well, one thing you might notice is that I didn't really give you many minimum admissions requirements besides the list of courses we need. So mainly keep in mind that while we do tend to see students who've done very well in high school as measured by their grades, the courses they took, and everything, if you find yourself not having done all those things well, first and foremost, you should never hear any number that makes you think you shouldn't even apply. There are reasons we look at the details, and this is the main one. So mainly just make sure when you talk with your counselor on our staff or your school counselor, you learn some of the long-standing ways to stand out as somebody who's coming around. And especially if we can see you finishing strong, regardless of how you started, that's a great indicator that it's time for us to give you a shot and see what you can do once you're here.
So it sounds like you don't want to limit, like you don't want anyone to limit themselves from applying for any reason, that we consider all things.
We do, and we consider many other things that I haven't even listed today.
Awesome. Another question that came in, can I defer admission or take a gap year?
We have, for the last 3 years, been one of the few public institutions in the country who has a very organized gap and deferral process, and a very small percentage of our students each year love the chance to do that if their path is one that would benefit from this. So there are more students asking different questions about that than usual since the arrival of the pandemic. But in general, our answer is always going to be that if you've decided it's the right fit for you, we're going to help you do it. Simply put, if you're a student we've said yes to in the year you initially apply, then if we're sure we would say yes to you the next year, you simply need to work with our staff and we'll walk you through the steps. You can take as little as a quarter and as much as a year, and most things will still work just fine with enough planning.
Okay. So another question that came in, does the U of O give credit for advanced placement or international baccalaureate exam scores?
We do. We have some very well-established credit policies on our website, and you can see how things such as a 3 or better on most AP exams, or a 4 or better on most international baccalaureate, higher or standard level exams can count towards credit. We've also started honoring more and more students taking the Cambridge program in the US and around the world. Any of these can be a great way to get an early start on some of the things you're most excited about.
So it looks like we're getting lots of questions about this, but Sophia asked, my high school decided that this past semester's grades would be omitted so that the grades would just be pass-fail. How would this affect the admissions process for me and other students who are in this situation?
We definitely want to let you know we're not going to let that harm you. But as we talk more and more with students and counselors, I do want to acknowledge one case that we just want to let you know we're thinking about you. And that is that we're certainly not going to think poorly of you because you didn't get, say, a bunch of A's that you would have gotten. But I also like to think about any of you out there who may have, again, been that student that didn't start as strongly as you're finishing. And going past fail may have taken away your chance to show us how well you're improving. So if that's you, I want to just make sure you hear straight from me that we would love to see you, first of all, see what happens in the fall. It's one of the reasons I want to encourage you to wait until you have grades in the fall, if that's what your school's giving you then, so you can really show us that last thing. And then also keep in mind that while we've never required recommendation letters, this coming year in particular might be a great one for you to have a trusted counselor or teacher give us a little bit more insight on you. We never want you to feel like you need to do that. But again, every student situation is different, and mainly anything we know could help us make a better decision with you.
Awesome. It sounds like you're wanting to be as flexible as possible with students for fall of 2021, given circumstances.
Yes, that'll be our goal.
So Emerson asked, is it common to apply as undecided?
Oh, a major question, a great question too. More than half of our applicants by far do request a major on their application, but a little secret I'll let you in on is even those students who list something often really are just putting it down because they're thinking about it. So when you aren't decided, we even have a special word for that here called exploring. It's a great place to be. We've watched how those students do over the years, and it's terrific. And even if you do list a major, you're not committed to it at all. We're simply wanting to make sure we get a chance to see what you're interested in. And as I mentioned, no answer you give to that question about a possible major is going to impact your chances of admission to the university.
I think it's important, Emerson, also to know that later on in this program, we actually have a couple of guests who will be on, who will speak directly to what it means to be an exploring student and how we help you find your path and your major. So stay tuned for that. Jim, I have one more question for you.
Sure.
So the student is asking, will your essay prompts change for next year, or can I start drafting them now? Do you have any recommendations for topics to write about?
Since the vast majority of our applicants use the Common App, we have decided a few years ago to use their prompts. And so whether a student uses that or some of our other mechanisms, the real answer to your question is to check in with the Common application. Our understanding as a member is that they have decided to keep their prompts the same next year. The one thing we've heard that's a little different from that shouldn't change your idea, because it'd be great for you to start working on this right now if that's what you want to do. But we are told that they will add an extra prompt specifically regarding the impact COVID-19 may have had on you and your family. And if that's a place you want to talk about that separate from something else you wanted to do, use it. We'll look at whatever you write, and it doesn't matter where you put it on all those different boxes. It's simply that if you want us to hear it, put it somewhere and we'll do the rest.
Awesome. That's all the time we have, Jim. So I do want to make sure that you also get a chance to understand that this U of O student experience is unique to each student. In putting together this program, it was important to us to ensure that you could meet several current students who have had great experiences. The first student that we want to introduce you to has tons to share as she looks towards commencement in the coming weeks. So please enjoy Britnee's story.
Hello everyone, my name is Britnee Spelce-Will and I am graduating from the University of Oregon this spring with the class of 2020 with a BS in advertising and a film certificate, which is essentially the cinema studies minor. I'm currently on campus in Eugene, Oregon, where I am completing my thesis through the School of Journalism and Communications Honors Program. I'm realizing the reality that I'm about to graduate, and it seems pretty unreal. Although it's weird to think that I'll be graduating in the midst of these strange times, I'm excited to announce that I will be returning in the fall for the Masters of Advertising and Brand Responsibility program. The University of Oregon could not get rid of me that easily. When I was a freshman, I came in as a business major, having no idea what I wanted to do with my life. Now I'm an advertising major and have accomplished so many things I had no idea I would achieve during my time here. I was an officer for the Women's Club Lacrosse team, I became a member of the professional business fraternity Alpha Kappa Psi, and I held the position of being a strategist while also being a presenter for Ad Team, in which we went to nationals after creating a B2B campaign for Adobe. If I could go back and tell my senior year high school self something, I would remind myself that college is not as scary as it may seem. I wanted to be closer to home, and I had heard great things about the business program here at U of O. However, if I had known there was a fantastic duck community and had experienced the spirit that comes with being a duck, I would not have hesitated and taken so long to commit to one of the greatest experiences I've had. Being a duck has taught me that being passionate about something will take you a long way. Being a duck has taught me that there are many opportunities for you, and most of the time you have to search for them and put yourself outside of your comfort zone. Being a duck has helped me become more confident in the person that I am now. U of O has threaded its spirit into me, and that is what makes me even more excited to be back here next year. The spirit of what comes with being a duck is unmatched to anything I've experienced before. So much that I convinced my brother Brandon to be a duck next year. Because I have had a great experience here, and with my knowledge about how some of the things at U of O work, I figured Brandon could have the chance to have an even better time than I did, since I'll be here to show him around. If you take one thing away from this video, it should be to believe in yourself. U of O has taught me to do the same, and I am proud of what I've accomplished with my time here. I'm beyond excited to witness my brother feel the spirit of U of O for the first time as a freshman, and I hope you get to as well. Go Ducks!
Up next, the perspective of current students and the best mascot on the planet. But because the duck doesn't speak himself, we're going to ask Summer, a current student, to work with him and some of her peers to share a little bit about the student experience and living on campus. Summer, it's all yours.
My name's Summer, and I'm joined today with two of my classmates, Mahogany and Jacinto, and also our feathered friend. And all of us are here today to answer whatever questions you have about student life. But before we do that, I do want to get a chance to introduce ourselves so you know a little bit more about us and where we're coming from today. So, like I said, my name's Summer. I'm wrapping up my junior year here at the University of Oregon. I'm originally from Hamilton, New York, and I'm definitely one of those students that in the conversation you heard earlier, I have switched my major. I've discovered things that I didn't know I was interested in when I was in high school. But I ended up as a cinema studies major with minors in multimedia and music studies. I'm also part of the Honors College. And then my on-campus involvements, I work for the ambassador program and get to do really cool stuff like this with all of you. And I'm also part of a group called Women Ball 2. We're a student-run organization and clothing brand that empowers our women's sports team on campus. Mahogany, do you want to go for it?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Mahogany, and I am a senior studying psychology. I'm from Portland, Oregon, but I transferred to the UO my sophomore year. So my involvement here on campus is being a part of the ambassador program along with Summer, in addition to orientation programs. I'm also involved in Black Student Union and Black Women of Achievement here on campus.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jacinto. I'm currently finishing up my sophomore year here at the University of Oregon. I'm majoring in human physiology with a minor or minors in Spanish and psychology. I hail from Ontario, Oregon, those of you who are not aware where that's at. It's Eastern Oregon, right on the border of Oregon and Idaho. One of my on-campus involvements that I like is pre-SOMA. What that stands for is Pre-Student Osteopathic Medical Association. So any of y'all who want to go into the medical career, this is a great club to get your foot into the door.
Sweet. Okay. So now that you know a little bit more about all of us, we're going to go to the chat and take some questions, see what you guys are asking. Okay, so while he figures out what's going on, I saw that somebody asked why we chose the University of Oregon. I think this is a great place to start and also something that all of us can answer, but I'll kick it off. So like I said, I'm from New York all the way across the country, but I actually came out to Oregon when I was in high school for a snowboard camp. I'm a pretty big snowboarder, and Mount Hood, which is about 2 hours away from our campus, is the only mountain in the US that stays open the whole year. So I was out there, I absolutely fell in love with the state and wanted to get back here as soon as possible. And for me, college was the first opportunity to do that. And the University of Oregon is the flagship institution in Oregon, so it was the perfect fit for me. Mahogany?
For myself, I transferred to the UO because I was looking for a more well-balanced college experience. I wanted to be able to have the academics and professors who cared about my success in the classroom, and then also opportunities to get involved on campus and to make new friends.
So I chose the University of Oregon for two main reasons. The first one, I'm an Oregonian, so shout out to all my Oregon peeps out there. And I wanted to maintain that status. So Oregon was the perfect spot for me. Eastern Oregon, not so many trees, but here in Eugene, there are so many. And even on campus, we have over 500 species, and we're technically an arboretum. So that's what really pushed me in the scenery type things. Reason two, the major human physiology. I want to go somewhere in the medical field, so this major really spoke out to me for the following reason. After you complete some of their upper division courses, you can get granted access into their human cadaver lab. So not many research institutes allow this for their undergraduate students. So that's something that I really wanted to be a part of. And then it'll give me a leg up when applying to any professional schools or even medical schools. So those are the reasons why I chose the UO.
Awesome. Okay, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, we're going to go back to the chat and I'm going to check out your questions. Okay, while we grab him some snacks, I noticed that somebody asked why or some benefits of the quarter system, our experience with that. Mahogany, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. For myself, I feel like some of the benefits of the quarter system is the opportunity to take more classes. You are able to take more classes within your major and also classes that you just may be interested in. So I'm a psychology major, but I've taken a number of music classes because I love music. And somewhere down the line, I plan to combine psychology and music and have like music therapy classes for kids with disabilities.
Awesome. Maybe we'll have to team up with my minor. Okay, thanks for answering that. And then that also reminded me while you were talking, I noticed you've got kind of an elaborate backdrop. Do the two of you want to talk a little bit about where you are? Maybe Jacinto, you can start.
Yes, that is a fantastic question, Summer. Well, I'm currently in LLC, or the Living Learning Center. This is one of 10 residence halls that are here on campus. The University of Oregon offers a wide variety of different room types. So if you want to check out what those room types look like, feel free to head over to the UO Housing website after this is all wrapping up. And you can see 360 views of all of our rooms that we offer. More about the logistics about what we have in the residence halls. So we have washers and dryers. Yes, you heard me right. I want to mention we have washers and dryers. Students, mom, dad, or whoever's going to be washing your clothes for you, not going to be around no more. So make sure you bring your laundry detergent and your dryer sheets and get to work every Saturday or Sunday or whenever you want to do your laundry. We also have lounge spaces. So whenever you want to hang out, chill, relax with your hall mates or friends, these lounge areas are great. They're in every residence halls. They have couches. If you know how to play the piano, we have a piano in almost every one of them too. And then as well as TVs and stuff like that. Last but not least, I want to mention about housing. On every single floor, we have what's called an RA, or resident assistant. These are students, current UO students, who had opted in and living in the residence halls with you. Their main goal or purpose is just to make sure your first year is an easy, breezy, smooth transition. So if you have any questions while you're here your first year, definitely go ahead and ask them. That's what I got for housing. What about you, Mahogany? Looks like you got something fun going on there.
I'm currently in Justice Dean Residence Hall. I'm in the kitchen currently. In some of the residence halls, there are kitchens. So if you're, feeling sick and you want a nice home cooked meal, you're missing mom's, spaghetti or something like that, and you want to make it in the kitchen with some of your roommates or some friends in your hall, you have that opportunity. And then outside of the kitchens that are in the res halls, we also have 5 dining halls across campus. Within those 5 dining halls, there are multiple eating options. I live off campus and I still have a meal plan because the food is honestly really, really great. But if you live on campus, you'll have a meal plan that ranges anywhere from 50 to 95 points that roll over. And then you'll also get $50 in duck bucks. That can also be used in any of the dining halls or in some of the eating establishments in our student union here on campus. My favorite spot on campus is honestly Global Scholars Hall. They have a really nice pasta bar and they have awesome killer mac and cheese, my favorite thing. And then they also have custom sushi in there. But honestly, being on campus, there's a lot of eating options. Even once you go off campus, there's restaurants walking distance. Tracktown Pizza is a very popular one here on campus, but I personally never get sick of the food. I honestly prefer eating on campus than at home, but yeah.
Yeah, I can totally attest to that. I lived in Global Scholars Hall and I was at the sushi bar all the time. Also, crazy that you mentioned that while you were talking, the duck actually found himself some Tracktown Pizza. And Mahogany started it off great. There are so many things to do off campus. There are so many great restaurants to go to. A lot of students will live off campus after their first year, but I want to be super clear that that is the most dramatic way that we like to put it. We don't really live off campus. We're all still a block or two away. It's only a 5 to 10 minute walk to class from my house. So it's super close to campus. I just get my own backyard now is really what we mean when we say that. I also want to talk about a little bit the weather in Eugene. I know that climate is a big thing coming across the coast. I didn't really know what to expect. We have a lot of students from California coming from warmer climates, but I want to let you know that don't believe the hype. It's not as bad as it sounds. As someone from the East Coast, I thought it was going to be way worse, but it was so easy to acclimate to. As long as you have a raincoat and some rain boots, you'll be totally fine. And then also somebody asked in the chat, Mahogany, maybe you could start talking about this, but the favorite University of Oregon memory. You could probably both answer this one, but yeah, probably something good to cover.
Mm-hmm. For myself, my favorite UO memory is participating in Human Battleship on campus. Me and my coworkers created a team and we were competing against other students on campus. So you're in canoes in the gym pool, you have buckets, you have shields, you're tossing water at people while trying to make sure your boat doesn't sink or flip over. My team didn't necessarily come in first place, we came in third place, but it was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I couldn't walk or move for about 3 days, but it was honestly one of the best experiences I've had here at UO.
Okay, and we're actually running kind of short on time, so we're going to move on to the next question, which was, what advice do we have for college juniors going through this admissions process and choosing a college? Because I know it can be a stressful time. I can start, and then if one of you wants to take this as well, I'd be happy to pass it off. But my advice is definitely like really take a second to step back and follow your heart and figure out what you want out of college. It was really easy for me to get caught up in statistics and things that you can find with a quick Google search. And while those things are helpful, they're not going to tell you what it's actually like to be a student at that institution. And so really take a second to assess, does the college that you're thinking about choosing hold the same values that you do? Does it have opportunities that you want to seek out? So all those things are really good to look out for when you're choosing college. Maybe Mahogany, do you want to answer this as well?
Sure. My number one advice to all seniors or juniors who are getting ready to be seniors is to create an Excel or a Word doc and track all of your scholarship and college deadlines. During your senior year, you'll have a lot of exciting things going on. This is just an easy way to be able to keep track of everything so you don't miss out on any important deadlines.
Awesome. Thanks for adding that. I think that we don't have any more time for live questions. Sorry about that, y'all. So we're going to move on. I'm going to pass it off to financial aid. But before we do that, I just want to thank you all for joining us today and letting us come into your virtual visit. And before I go, I always have to say, go Ducks.
Hi, my name is Kelly Mason, and I'm a financial aid counselor in the Office of Student Financial Aid and Scholarships at the University of Oregon. Today, I'm going to talk to you all about the financial aid process, dates and deadlines, scholarships, and some other tips to make the most of your financial aid possibilities. What even is financial aid? Well, it's funds provided to students and families in order to help pay for educational expenses with the goal of making college more accessible for families. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid, and it is the main application for many different types of financial aid. You will want to submit this application during the fall of your senior year of high school. It becomes available on October 1st, and the priority deadline is March 1st. It is our recommendation that everyone completes the FAFSA. You can list up to 10 different schools, and once you submit your aid application, you'll want to keep an eye on your email for updates. The ORSA is the Oregon Student Aid application, and it is only available to residents of the state of Oregon who otherwise are unable to submit the FAFSA. This application should only be completed if you're unable to complete the FAFSA due to your residency status. A link and instructions on how to access this form will be provided in an email following this event. Students and families pay for college in a variety of different ways, including savings, gift aid, such as grants and scholarships, work study, and student loans. There are many different places to look for scholarships, but here is a list of just a few for you to see on the screen. Also, here is a list of scholarships that we offer to incoming freshmen at the University of Oregon. Some of them are automatic awards offered if you're meeting GPA and test score requirements. As Jim mentioned earlier, additional scholarship opportunities will be available to you without test scores, but are not automatic in this first year of our test optional policy. Others require a separate application. The dates and deadlines for these scholarships vary, but in general, scholarship season is from September to mid-January. I would like to highlight the Pathway Oregon program that is very near and dear to my heart. I was a Pathway student when I attended the University of Oregon, and it is a promise to Oregonians to cover all tuition and fees for 4 years. This program comes with academic support from dedicated Pathway advisors. Now, I would like to share some tips and tricks to help you better prepare. If it is possible, start saving money for college now. Make sure that you talk with your family to understand how they're able to contribute. Begin researching and applying for scholarships early. On October 1st of your senior year, file your FAFSA. And make sure that you are aware of deadlines for college applications, transcripts, and test scores, and scholarship applications. Our contact information, including links to some of the topics we covered today, will be included in an email following this event.
Thanks, Kelly. We have time for just a couple of questions that came in from students ahead of the program. So I want to spend just a couple minutes answering a few of those questions. And we know that your colleagues are in the live Q&A answering additional Q&A questions. So if you have those for students watching, please make sure that you ask those there. But for you, Kelly, one question that came in is how and when will I know how much financial aid I qualify for?
Great question. So for incoming freshmen, we tend to send out financial aid offers in the March following your application to the University of Oregon. So you could definitely expect to receive an aid offer in the month of March.
Fantastic. And what are the best places to find external scholarships? So not U of O scholarships, but those ones from other entities.
Yeah, so I always like to recommend that students talk with their high school counselor to find scholarship opportunities locally through their high school. Also, sometimes parents work for employers that offer scholarships. And additionally, on our website, we have a list of a variety of different search engines that students can use to look for outside scholarships.
Fantastic. So one other question that we got, what does the U of O do to reduce student loan debt for graduates?
Good question. Students at the University of Oregon, on average, graduate with less debt than other students in the state of Oregon, which is a good thing. And also, I want to use this opportunity to highlight our Financial Wellness Center that will be opening in the fall, that will offer a variety of workshops, including budgeting, how to prepare to live off campus, peer-to-peer advising sessions, and a variety of other topics that students can utilize to help manage their finances.
That's awesome. It shows a real strong commitment to helping students graduate as debt-free as possible. That's all the time that we have for this afternoon and for financial aid. But again, there are colleagues in the Q&A, so keep those questions coming. We have a few more important notes after this message from our feathered friend.
Plume de Canard, the new fragrance by Choisy l'Oregon.
Thank you all for joining us today. Please take advantage of the additional virtual resources that we have made available. After this program, you can log on to virtual.uoregon.edu and sign up for a one-on-one Zoom appointment with an admissions counselor or one of our student ambassadors. Perhaps you want to talk with Mahogany or Jacinto or Summer. We have that available to you. You can also check out more of campus with the UO360 website that gives you a chance to look at our beautiful campus and see some of the sights and sounds. And we also have a live Q&A with student ambassadors in the Discord app. So if that's something that you use quite a bit, we have student ambassadors in there all the time. So please ask your questions of students in that app as well, so that you have just one more platform to be able to get to know the U of O a little bit better. We are also still working through finding the safest way for prospective students and their families to visit the University of Oregon. Lane County has just moved into the second phase of the state's phased reopening program. And so long as things keep on track as they are, and that U of O remains a place that we have few, if any, COVID cases, we'll be able to move into to reopening for visitors. And so we want you to make sure that you keep looking at your email, because as we're able to open, we will be sending you emails about our reopening plan and all of the opportunities available to you. Because as Coach Cristobal said, there is nothing like this place, and we want you to feel and see it as you're here and as you can, so that you can make sure that you know whether or not this will be your home as you earn a bachelor's degree. So in order to close out this program, we want to make sure that you have a chance to see some more. So one of our student ambassadors has a tour for you, and we'll be answering those questions while that tour is happening. So if you have more questions, keep them coming, but please enjoy this campus tour from one of our student ambassadors, Annie.
Hi everyone, my name's Annie. I'm going to be your ambassador today. I'm from San Luis Obispo, California. I'm a junior majoring in international studies with 2 minors, one in food studies and another in leadership administrative skills. A little bit about me, I'm involved on the Alpine ski team here on campus, as well as the outdoor program. I know it's a stressful time right now and some of you might be concerned, but I'm excited to show you the campus today. Right over here we have Matthew Knight Arena, home to our men's and women's basketball team, as well as our women's acrobatic and tumbling and volleyball team. We do have more than just sports in here. We have performers such as Elton John, the Dalai Lama, right here in Matthew Knight. Right behind me here, we have the John E. Jaqua Academic Center for Student Athletes. It is required that all NCAA Division I schools have a building for their student athletes' academic success. And here, student athletes can get help with tutoring, academic advising. Do note that all the resources they get in here, other students like myself get on other parts of campus. Right over here, we have the University Health Counseling and Testing Center, and here we have a full-service health clinic here for all enrolled students with services such as physical therapy, dentists. We also want to make sure our students are not only healthy physically, but also mentally. Upstairs, we have a counseling center with group therapy, one-on-one sessions, therapists and counselors on call at all times, as well as an academic testing center where students can take placement tests and mock exams. Right over here, we have the Robert and Beverly Lewis Integrative Science Building. Here, you can conduct your own research for undergrads as well as graduate students. If you don't want to conduct your own research, you can always be a part of someone else's research study. Located 17 feet below us are the Lori I. Lokey Laboratories. These are located underneath bedrock to minimize all the vibrations from above ground. There's microscopes in there that can see something as tiny as a single gold atom. We are in Willamette Hall, home to our physics department, our general science program, our material science institute, and our Institute for Theoretical Sciences. Tucked right there in the corner is Willamette Hall, home to our biology, chemistry, biochemistry departments. Something cool to note is there's a lot more of campus you won't be able to see today. We have a campus on the Oregon coast for marine biology students, as well as a submarine that we share with the Coast Guard. Tucked underneath Willamette Hall are human cadaver labs. This is great for our human physiology students or science students to do hands-on research. Personally, you couldn't catch me dead down there. Here we are in the Price Science Library. This is one of 5 libraries located on campus. Yes, it's the science library, but this facility is open to all students here on campus, including the makerspace in here, where we have a laser cutter, 3D printer, and industrial sewing machine. Right behind me here is Allen Hall, home to our School of Journalism and Communication. They have incredible clubs and organizations in here, such as Duck TV, Flux Magazine, Allen Advertisement Team that works with businesses such as Adobe. Right over here we have Lawrence, which is home to the College of Design. We offer programs such as architecture, product design, planning, public policy and management, and art. Within our architecture program, we really like to focus on sustainability. Here on campus, numerous buildings are LEED, Gold, if not Platinum certified. Right over here is Friendly Hall, home to some of our foreign language departments. We offer 22 different foreign languages here on campus. As you can see, there's lots of beautiful trees around me. Fun fact, our campus is an arboretum. We have over 5,000 trees with over 400 different species. Right over here is Tyson Hall, home to the College of Arts and Sciences. We offer academic and career advising in this building to help students find classes to make sure they're graduating on time and on track to find that job post-grad. They'll help you out with looking over resumes, helping with mock interviews, career fairs, and career advising. Right over here, we have the Lillis Business Complex, home to the Charles H. Lindquist College of Business. Within this department, we offer 2 majors, including accounting and business administration. Within the business department, we have incredible clubs such as Women in Business, Oregon Consulting Group, Warsaw Sports Marketing, Sustainable Business Club. We also have incredible academic advisors within the business department and a tutoring center right on the first floor. This is also the most photogenic building on campus. As you can see, that O was put up there in 2012 when we hosted ESPN College Game Day. They liked it so much they kept it up there. Some people say it's the largest bumper sticker in the world. I think it makes a great photo opportunity. Right over here is Chapman, home to the Clark Honors College. This is available for all majors, all minors. This gives students the opportunity to take smaller classes, to write and conduct a thesis your senior year. The Honors College gives students that small liberal arts college feel in a large research university. Here we are in the Urban Memorial Union. This is our student union. We all call it the EMU for short. And here, students can gather and study, grab food, Most of our student groups are based out of this building. We have over 250 clubs and organizations on campus. Like I said, I'm involved on the Alpine ski team through club sports and the outdoor program, as I'm a trip initiator, leading and conducting my own trips, just to name a few things. Right over here we have our craft center. This is free for students to come in, take classes. We have glass blowing, screen printing, ceramics, woodwork, painting, fabrics, photography, and the list goes on and on. Here we are in our Student Recreation Center. This is included in students' tuition and fees. You can come in here and rent out equipment, take classes. They have great hours from 6 a.m. to midnight. A few of the classes that they offer here at the Recreation Center are CrossFit, kickboxing, cycling, yoga, stand-up paddleboard yoga. You can even get scuba certified in our pool. Hello everyone, I know things are changing quickly. I'm currently back home in San Luis Obispo, California, and wanted to finish up the video. I first want to wish you all good luck with your college admission process. I want to thank you for coming on a campus tour with me. Take care and go Ducks.